All right, there it is. So we here. Salute to everybody. Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your main man, Uncle Freezy, number one chief rocker in Knicks universe. I'm joined by the man that is too smooth that he does not require a chaser, Anthony D.
Bim!
Bim.
Good morning, Uncle Freezy. How we doing, sir?
Man, I'm a little confused, bro.
Why? By the topic of today's show, dear
Yes.
Summer.
Dear Summer.
What do you mean? You ready to go? You got the wool scully on. You sitting there in the Rocky meat locker room that's 0.5 temperature.
Yes. Freezing.
So I came up with the topic because I'm like, well, this is like my least favorite part of the year when summer leaves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm a summer kid. You know what I mean? I'm a summer baby. And it just got me to reflect on summer, on my summer in Knicks universe and so forth. So I saw something that plays along with the theme. But first of all, before I even go there, let me say good morning to Knick Nation. Salute to you guys. I know y'all still bewildered, dazed, and confused, and you know,
bewildered.
You know what I'm saying? Some of you have said some. Oh, come on, AD. You always think you're right. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's part of it. Part of how this thing works.
That's part of how this thing works. But salute to all of you. Hope you're having a happy Sunday and your families are all safe and so forth. But back to my dear summer theme. I want to read a little something here and see if you can tell me where it comes from. All right? You know they lame. You feel ashamed, but you love them the same.
Sounds familiar.
It's the opening line of Jay-Z's Dear Summer. And when I saw that, I was like, because I remembered it, you know, I remember when he did it and all of that, but I was trying not to catch up on some latest Nick news and things of that nature. I'm like, how am I going to do that? And I'm in the podcast media world and so
you're
forth.
a YouTube celebrity. You got to. This is your thing. You're a YouTube star, bro. Like and people and just AD. Let me clarify something just real quick before you continue. No disrespect to the topic, but when you are one that is sought after, when people tune in repetitiously and religiously for a certain thing, you are what they call a YouTube star celebrity, and you have a joint.
Yikes!
That comes on Sunday mornings at 11, and people tune in for it weekly.
Okay.
Right?
So I need to give the people what they want. Is that what you're saying?
And accept the fact that YouTube stardom is not one that you create on your own.
Absolutely.
Right? YouTube stardom is the coalescing of elements coming together. And so since you have that is what you and others are.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna take your wise wisdom from a man that's sitting in sub-zero temperatures.
Finish him. Yeah.
For real. But back to what I was saying, Freezy. So I tried not to watch and so forth, but I watched the Leon Rose interview. So before I roll down this hill, I'm gonna say, it took everything I had not to regurgitate in my own mouth. That being said, let me stop there. Give me your thoughts on the interview, which at the end of summer, which is gonna come back full fold for Dear Summer.
I think the production of it was slapped together, but I'm into production, so I'm into show production and all of that. Right. What I will say though is in 22 minutes, this dude talked about 16 different topics. That's a lot of topics to talk about in 22 minutes. So on that point, I think he did a very good job of addressing certain topics, not dodging them. But man, 16 things. And so generally, for those that don't know, when we do live streams, say when we go on an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, we say, hey man, let's start out with 1 or 2 topics. This dude addressed 16 topics in 22 minutes.
In 22 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. So some of that stuff, some of the things that he touched on, he didn't get too in depth, and some of it he probably shouldn't have. Other things we wanted him to get in depth, and he couldn't because of league rules. Like the Donovan Mitchell thing, we would love to have known how that thing went down, but he couldn't. You can't talk about a player that's under contract with another team. You just can't. So yeah. So in terms of my perception of what happened, I think he did good in a sense of the presentation aspect and the issues that he addressed. Now, of course, I wanted more stuff, right? I wanted more. Like, yo, what are we doing with these young kids? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What's the direction of the team? Because there was no clear direction pressed out by Leon Rose in that interview.
Okay. I watched it this morning. You know, like I said, to get ready for the show and so forth. And why even ask him about Donovan Mitchell, Alan Hahn? Right. Because you know he can't say anything because of league rules.
Right.
It's almost like you threw it out there to see if he would flinch.
That.
Right?
That too. Yep.
You threw it out there, see if you'd flinch, but why would you throw it out there when you're a Madison Square Garden employee? And all of those questions are scripted. Or if not the questions, how they're going to ask them are scripted. He's not going to get blindsided.
Right.
Right? So just to make us feel, well, you know, maybe he'll say what? What is it that he could say without him getting a tampering situation and getting in trouble tomorrow morning?
Right.
So why even bother go there? I'm going to go to the end of the interview because all of it just made me sick. Because I just kept, when I sat there, I just kept thinking, bullshitter, BS.
Yep.
Right? That's all I kept thinking. When Alan Hahn goes, you know, speak to, you know, the Knick universe or whatever, talk to them and tell them, and he goes, is that my camera? Is that my
camera? That part right. Oh my God.
You know, Knick Nation.
That part was so uncharismatic.
So sad. And, you know, then he puffs up his chest, you know, because I'm the one that's gonna, and da-da-da. I'm like, my guy, I would rather you didn't speak at all. Just let us continue down this road of nonsense. Freezy, I think you muted your mic. No, I don't think you did mute your mic.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Right? So what were Knick fans supposed to take from that? And then, I mean, the way he talked about Derrick Rose, Lord.
Good God, man.
I was waiting for the harps to start playing. He was gonna roll in here, and I'm always uncomfortable when another man marks about another man's body with his shirt off. Just keep it. Just keep it a buck. Yeah.
Yeah, it just make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, just keep it a buck, right?
I was looking at his abdominals, man, and they. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man.
I was expecting for a ticker tape with Manscaped to go right across the line.
Right.
But anyway, so what did I get from that? I didn't get anything. You know, I'm hoping for the best for the Knicks.
Right.
You know, do they have pieces? Of course they do.
Of course they do.
Of course they have pieces. But let's see how it, let's see how it gels. Let's see how it goes. But just to kind of sum up that interview, I'd rather we didn't hear from you at all.
Right.
Because to touch on 16 things in 22 minutes, you remember that commercial? You have 22 minutes and the world and blah, blah.
Yeah. And win wins. Yeah.
Right. 10 wins. Right.
10 wins.
10 it's like, what is this? It's 10 wins?
Yeah.
Like, Presses, stop. Let me help you. Derrick Rose hasn't played in 75% of games, maybe once in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So for you to sit there and, he was the heart and soul of the team. And wow.
I didn't see that. AD, listen, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I like the idea of Derrick Rose being here, but when I go to Knicks games in person, Derrick Rose don't give me the impression on the court in front of the cameras that he helped teams win. Now, he might be a quiet guy that talk to you one-on-one, like behind the scenes.
Right, because that might be his personality.
Yeah, that might just. But when I go to games, bro, that like I go to all the Charlotte games, I go to all the Atlanta games, right? Or try to go to all the Atlanta games. Sometimes if it's like a weekday, I ain't going, right? I'm not driving from my house all the way to Atlanta, Georgia during the weekday. It just don't make sense for me to do that, right? But when I see Derrick Rose in person, like whether it's DC, Memphis, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Orlando. I got to start making more Orlando games too, by the way. I talked to my son this weekend. My son came up from Orlando and I talked to him about it. That'd be a reason for me. The Knicks and then Orlando was a reason for me to go see my son and his girlfriend and the Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But every time I see them, Derrick Rose does not give me the impression that he's the heart and soul of anything. You know what I'm saying? Look, give you an example. I'm a fan of 70s music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. We were talking about this on Vibes and Stuff live in the mornings, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. We were talking about Willie Hutch.
Right? You don't know nothing about no Willie Hutch.
Willie Hutch, bruh. Come on, bro. So we talk about Willie Hutch, Isaac Hayes, Barry White, and Curtis Mayfield.
Ooh.
Right. And we were talking about the diversity of their skill set, right? How their charisma is not generated off of their look, but their charisma is generated by how they communicated what they were feeling to you.
Right.
Because when you looked at Barry White, you're like, Barry White he not Jackie Wilson, right? Let me just be clear. When you look at Willie Hutch, he not Jackie Wilson. In my mind, Jackie Wilson, Billy D. Williams, the coolest cats to ever breathe breath, bro. You know what I'm saying? These dudes is so smooth, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. You don't get smooth. Billy D. Williams, Lady Sing the Blue, man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
You want my on the floor.
Yes. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And so
try that today.
Yo, see, Billy D. Williams is so cool. His whole presence and persona is cool. Even in Star Wars, he just looked different. You know what I'm saying?
Lando Calrissian.
Yes, he just looked different. He moved different. But the point that I'm getting at is this, right? See, those dudes were charismatic from like Billy D, Sidney Poitier. You know what I'm saying? Jackie Wilson. They were a different type of. Leon Rose looked like the dude from King of Queens trying to drum up passion. That's what he looked like.
He looked like an older version of it.
Yeah, King of Queens.
For real.
Kevin James.
He looked like an older version of Kevin James.
Yeah. And so and look.
Shout out to Kevin James. I love that movie.
Yeah. And no knock on Kevin James or Leon Rose or AD or Uncle Freezy, because ultimately we are who we were created to be, right? That's who we are, right? We can't be anybody else. AD is so smooth, he don't require a chaser. So when you if you ever saw AD being Bobby Shmurda, you're like, no, that ain't AD.
No,
something going on with AD.
Gosh, no.
You know what I'm saying? AD is meant to be who he is.
Somebody done put some other mushrooms in his food.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Ultimately, like I don't begrudge Leon Rose for not being Rob Pelinka. Like when you see Rob Pelinka, you like, yo, this dude right here can sell me. I don't know what he's selling, but I'm buying 2 of them. I don't even know what he's selling, and I already got my debit card ready. You know what I'm saying? Leon Rose is the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying?
Because they out there, and not to cut you, Freezy, but on the West Coast, especially for that organization, they embrace entertainment.
Right.
They embrace Starship. I mean, if you watched any of the series on HBO, Winning Time,
yeah,
right? This dude, the boss, Dr. Bust, the late Dr. Bust, everything. Right. The red carpet in the little side club that they had was the club, and
the Showtime club. Showtime. That's the name of the club, right?
And it couldn't be some regular red. It had to be some drip, blood, orange, red. Everything has to match.
Right.
This, I mean, just the way how they embrace the whole star culture.
The whole culture. He elevated the form. He elevated that culture above everything else that was going. It had to be better than the Oscars, so to speak, on a certain level, because you can't throw the Oscars every day. You know what I'm saying? No. But you had to at least get the 41 games.
Feel like it. He
made
them feel like. Because I heard celebrities speak about it. It was like, yo, the game was good, but you had to be at the club. You had to be at the Showtime afterwards.
That's why cats like Denzel Washington that are from New York are Lakers fans, because going to the Garden is beer and hot dogs, right?
Now they got the what's that? Because I went after the remodeling, and what's that? The blue.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, bro.
No, it was back there. I thank you very much, because I think I had about 6 lobster rolls back there that night.
Wow.
And I must have drank like 4 or 5 mimosas.
Wow, that's what I'm saying.
I guarantee, no lie.
And then you had to stop yourself. It's not like they ran out. You had to stop and say, oh, wait a minute. I don't even hit 6. You're like, wait a minute. Just bring me some water. Bring me one of them $8 bottle of waters, please.
It's me and my cousin. I'm tying it up. It's me and my cousin Val. He has the backstage and stuff like that. So he goes to the bathroom or whatever. So I'm sitting there. I got my I think I was drinking rum and Coke that night. Okay. Right. So now I'm like behind the glass. They got like a glass thing, something that's partitioned. So I'm sitting there, and who comes out?
Is it Denzel?
Mr. Jimmy Dolan himself.
Really?
Right? Yes. And I'm telling this story. I never told this story before. I don't think I have. I'm telling this story because I thought at one point in time I would be able to besiege, mental telepathy thoughts that would somehow connect to his brain waves and so forth, and the right things get done, like when he had to move on from other regimes and so forth. Jimmy Dolan comes walking by and hits me with the and I hit him back with the so I'm thinking we're connected now. You know what I'm saying?
That's 3 hours worth of conversation in a second.
Hours worth of conversation in 1 second, Uncle Freeze. Right? Here I am, happy to be sitting here eating up all your free lobster rolls. Right? Drinking all your mimosas.
Hey, how cold were the mimosas though?
Cold.
Oh God, dog it.
Right?
So they wasn't just sitting; they make them right there for you.
Right there for you. I was appreciating the experience.
Right.
Right? Thinking that okay, you know how to treat your fan base, even though whatever. Only to be let down years later because you agreed with this nonsense that happened over summer. Why? Uncle Freezy, I don't know. You know they lame, but you love them all the same.
Yes. Dear Summer. That's what it is. And so guys and ladies and gentlemen in the chat, I don't say this as a big time and method, right? I don't like I tell people all the time, I'm a regular dude, just a regular Joe, like got a woman, got a house, got a car, got a dog that eat too much and require too much attention, right? And I'm just a regular dude.
You were the dog.
Both. Both. Right, that's the same thing the dog say. He eat too much. The dog talk about me. Talk about he eat too much and he require too much attention. Right. So when I say these things, like when I ask AD about the shrimp rolls and the mimosas,
lobster rolls.
Oh, I'm sorry, lobster rolls. I'm sorry. Pardon the mistake. Lobster rolls, right? Lobster rolls and the mimosas. It reminds me of a time I went to a game in Atlanta, maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago, I went to a game in Atlanta, and AD, the section I was sitting in, bro, they treated me, a Knicks fan, like royalty in Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Uncle Freezy. Mr. Uncle Freezy. You know what I'm saying? And, they're like, and I'm talking, me, like, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I am what they call a giggly drunk. Like, as soon as I'm already like, I got so much stress in my life that when me and AD ever get together, like when we get together, I already got so many stresses in my life. Like I got a little sister that's dealing with like medical issues, like with cancer, with breast cancer. It's a recurring thing. Then I got the missus got medical stuff going on, and those things stress me, right? And then I got adult kids that are trying to find their way. You know what I'm saying? You know how that could be stressful for somebody my age, right? As long
as they're not trying to find their way back into your house.
Yeah.
To find their way back.
Yeah, because I got a dog that already says that I eat too much and require too much attention. He can't take it. But so when I go out to these games, man, I just want to relax my mind and be free of all of that stuff. That's just my moment of escapism, right? So when I go to Atlanta and I sit up in these fancy places and drink champagne, you know what I'm saying? Like you look, like they roll out the little cart and it's got like the champagnes on ice in the thing, and you can get the champagne you want, and you know what I'm saying? And so they also have the clear little cups. Like they got the little glasses. I like to drink mine. I'm still hood. Mm-hmm. Don't get it twisted, y'all. And then they have like the buffet things, the for vegans, they have all the vegan stuff. They have all the chefs make sure that the vegans and everybody else are taken care of, right? And they like, that's sure that you, Mr. Uncle Freezy, you sure that's all you want? And then the party I be with, they be like, no, tell them we want some fish, we want some fried fish. No, this ain't the cookout, right? This ain't we not doing an event in our backyard. This ain't a cookout, right? This is a game. Go over there to them plush leather seats and sit down and root for the Knicks.
The tartar sauce and the lime juice.
yeah, they're like, where the hot sauce at? You know what I'm saying? But when we go, we kind of enjoy these things, and I think that right there is the reason why the Knicks not winning a championship doesn't bother us as much, because we have got comfortable with losing, but with the plush things that go along with losing.
What did I say last week? We live in TV land.
Right.
We live in Leave It to Beaver.
Right.
Where no one gets upset.
Right.
Where there's a lesson learned during the 22 minutes, and then there's a positive outcome at the very end.
Right. And somebody and a producer is there with his finger on the laugh track button. Somebody tell a bad joke and then the laugh track play.
We can consistently rewatch parts of good things in hope that the outcome changes.
That is insanity. Yes.
I watch Game 3. I hope Derrick Harper gets back to Sam Cassell.
But he doesn't.
Twice.
But he doesn't.
I have to be deranged to watch this.
Yes. As soon as you said Derrick Harper, I'm like, oh shit. Because we're coming up on the 30th anniversary of that team.
I saw him the other day on Knicks Fan TV talking about it, talking or whatever. And I was trying to call in so bad not to be a jerk, not to be a jerk because I got too much respect, But when you're going over bits and pieces of whatever, come talk to me.
Bro.
I remember it.
I was bro, you can't
remember.
Derrick Harper can't say this stuff to me, bro. I was a grown-up watching this. I was an adult, bro. Cold-blooded, just walked into it. And the thing is, that 90 for those who didn't see the 90s Knicks team play, they didn't double. They didn't double. That 94 team, which is probably the best defensive team out of all of those teams, even with the Canby. Right.
Because that's prime Ewing. That's prime Oakley. And
that team was deep with defenders. That 99 team had a good defense, but they were not deep with perimeter defenders.
They were better with the help.
Yeah.
And Canby could come over on the weak side.
And right. Kurt Thomas, anytime things got off the rails, Kurt Thomas just come in and
94 team could straight up lock you up.
Man for man.
Remember, they had a thing at the Garden at one point. It was so bad. They were giving away pizza for whenever the Knicks kept the team under 90 points.
Yep.
And they were doing it on a regular basis. Regular basis.
Pizza companies going out of business.
Going out of business.
Because they keep giving away free product.
So that particular, that's prime Ewing, all of those guys. I mean, the way how they, but okay. So this is why we got to this place as Knicks fans, because again, to your point and to my previous point, we live in these moments that thinking that the outcome is going to change, and it's not. You think Leon Rose is going to say anything different if he's here 6 months from now?
No.
When they asked him about about building, of course, we're we're compiling these assets because, we intend to do something different.
Right.
What is that exactly? We intend to make a move for who?
For who? Right.
And he can't tell us that because you know why? He don't know.
Right.
But he got all of these people that they're getting good salaries that are on the anyway.
Right. But just to the point with Derrick Harper, bro. Derrick Harper, your ass make me sick, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you sit here and tell the story, and for all the millions of fans that didn't see it in real time, they hang on every word you say. You are a Knicks transplant. Your heart is not here.
I think his heart is here. He's up. He's bitter by it, as he should be.
But how are you gonna say you could have sat Starks and gave Rolando Blackman those shots for Starks when you in Dallas for years choked in the playoffs? AD, do you remember how stacked those Mavericks teams were, bro? Yeah. Him, Blackman, Aguirre, Tarpley, Donaldson, all these guys, bro. Every year we expected them to make the jump, and they didn't.
They got, I think, the one time, is it 88? I think it's 88 or 89. When Dallas, I think that one time when they finally, I think, got to the Lakers.
Yeah.
At one time. And that was the best they could ever done.
Yeah, that was their ceiling.
That was their ceiling. They couldn't get. I understand when if it's not Blackman, for me, it's got to be somebody else.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be Blackman. If you want to throw, because Greg was having an okay game that game 7. If you want to throw Greg in there for a couple of minutes there, whatever.
Okay.
To break the monotony, to break what's going on there. If you, gosh,
but AD, see, that's
we were not going there, Freezy. But remember that one of these timeouts as the game is dwindling away, and Starks is doubled over, and he's right next to Oakley. And Oakley with his left hand, he's kind of pepping him up. He's tapping him on the side, on his rib cage, because he's doubled over like this. He needs a moment.
Right.
He is imploding in the biggest thing in his life, in all of your lives.
Right.
He needs 30 seconds. He needs a minute. He needs something to be able to catch himself, because he's missing everything and they're getting worse.
But yeah, I was gonna say, but he wasn't just missing. After I think he was like 1 for 9-ish, something in there. You could see in Stark's eyes, his shot was not there.
He's frustrated, and he needed. I'm not saying you take him out because you would be ungrateful. You don't get there without him.
Yeah.
But he needs a moment.
Yeah.
He needs a moment. And you have Blackman is a 5-time All-Star?
Yeah.
Hubert Davis saved the day. Remember that. Hubert Davis saves the day in Game 5 at the free throw line. Against Chicago.
Right.
So if nothing else, he could shoot anybody. I don't care. Even if you want to throw Bonner in at the shooting guard, I don't care. Anybody.
But Tony Campbell, you could have easily. Tony Campbell, the Swiss Army knife, had a high basketball IQ, just wasn't assertive offensively.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Because remember, even Tony Campbell, I think he had a really good year with the Lakers.
Yeah.
He had he came off. I can't remember if the Lakers had got him from Minnesota or something.
Yeah.
And if you looked up his numbers, not that it's worth really. I think he had a season or two where he's over 20. couple of times. So offensively, but to the point, anybody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And Derrick Harper, he misses that a little bit. Yeah, your man, but anybody.
Right.
And at the end of the day, as much as we love y'all, again, we're in TV land. We love y'all because we're stuck there. We're stuck at the OJ game, game 5, when we go up 3-2.
Right.
Because that's where the good memories end.
Right.
They end with Ewing doing a left-handed putback dunk, his best game of the series.
Right.
Because the next 2 games, for him at least, they're not good.
Right.
Offensively.
Let me add some spice to this game 7 thing. So for one, I think that game 7 was the most physical game of the series. Two, you have probably never seen a better Knicks defense in the moment, right? You have never seen a better Knicks defense in the moment, right? This right here, the only thing is that Houston's defense was smothering the Knicks, right? Smothering. Because I don't even remember Pat Ewing having a great offensive game either. Not saying that he didn't show up, because he did, and he was playing against one of the greatest defensive centers of all time in a game 7. So you expect his numbers to be kind of, somewhere requisite to the competition, right?
It was. I think he. Oh gosh.
So Pat finished with 17. Pat finished with 17 points on 17 shots in that game, right? Yep. Oakley finished 4 of 9, right? 4 of 9. Starks finished 2 of 11. Charles Smith finished 4 of 7. Derrick Harper finished 8 of 16, right? In that game, Derrick Harper led everybody in that game 7 in scoring.
What do you have?
23.
23.
Right. And so let's not forget, Derrick Harper stepped up huge in the late games in that entire series. Our backcourt together, but John Starks, man, there were some games where, like, when you look at the box score, it doesn't do you justice. Like, Pat is on the post, Pat is going to his move, and he's looking. The cutters are cut off, they bumping cutters, and Pat just like throws a Hail Mary pass across court to Starks, wide open on the wing for 3, and Starks just step into the shot and just knock it down. And you could just see all the heart out of Houston. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just the Rockets just.
They had them.
Yeah,
they just, I don't want to say overconfident, but Houston just made the better scrappy plays.
Right.
Like it drives my cousin crazy. His name is skipping me right now. The forward off the bench.
Call Herrera. Charles Oakley had to do was go out there and put a hand up.
He just kept
knocking down the 18-footer, and Oakley won't go guard it.
He was in the right. He was in the right position. Horry in the right position at the right. It was just always a little. It was just something.
Charles Smith matchup. The Charles Smith Robert Horry matchup, I think ultimately it went our way because of Charles Smith's defense and able to switch to everybody on the floor. The Swiss Army knife defender that could guard everybody on the floor. Ultimately, the Robert Horry big threes hurt us, but ultimately late in those games, the Charles Smith defense of Robert Horry late in those games helped us. But what hurt us is Derrick Harper's defense on Sam Cassell and Kenny Smith. And it wasn't just our series. It was the series after that too, right? You remember Kenny Smith got hot against Orlando?
Well, Yeah, I mean, Kenny wasn't the same dude in Orlando against the Orlando.
Nah, he wasn't even
He
a
wasn't.
starter no more.
He
Sam
wasn't.
Cassell was the starter.
Yeah, and Orlando didn't play that type of defense.
No, they didn't play that. They did not play that
Derek
type
Harper
of defense.
just drove. No disrespect to Kenny, he just drove Kenny crazy.
Yeah.
But again, Kenny doesn't get off until Game 7.
I know. That's my point, though.
It's like you got him locked up. You got him. Even Max,
Vernon Maxwell, and Sam Cassell.
I think Max had a good Game 1. Max had a good Game 1, and he had a good Game 7. He wasn't as bad as you would think. You know, he had but it wasn't consistent through. The Knicks backcourt had the, you know, overall they had the advantage.
Right.
Where they lose it is Smith is not dominant at his position battle, and he wouldn't play the fourth quarter. Riley never trusted him in the fourth quarter. Not after what happened the previous year.
Right.
So you're talking Mason, Horry, more Mason. Yeah, because then you would bring in Mason because Mason could play the better box defense against Hakeem.
Right.
And
was a better facilitator on offense.
Just that one little, he could push Hakeem a little bit. He wasn't blocking Hakeem's shot. Let's get something correct here. The only person that was blocking Hakeem's shot was Ewing.
Was Pat.
Yeah, he wasn't blocked, but he could. His low, you understand what I'm saying? His low center of gravity was good in there. They just didn't. They just couldn't take advantage of the things that they were supposed to do to them in that series. And another thing is, the year before, I believe the Knicks went 39-2 in '93 at home.
At home,
right? I think they were 39-2. They were damn near on.
Only the Celtics had a better home record ever. Right. The '86 Celtics.
The following season, the Knicks are like, I want to say, are they 34-7 or something like that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Which is a great home record.
Great home record, bro.
But it wasn't good enough because who has home advantage? Houston. When they said that we were going to Houston, like literally after, you know, when Ewing is on top of the table and doing like this and and we'll see you in Houston and what, I'm like, hold on.
Oh, wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We got a better record.
Yeah.
I remember quickly, like trying to find out, you know, how they have a better record than us. And yeah, Houston had a game, I think, or two. Yeah.
And I think that turned the tide. That right there, the classic Game 7 on your own floor. You take that every day of the week.
We should have. Once we cracked home court advantage when we won Game 2, we were so good at home over those 2-3 years. They should have never escaped New York. Remember that movie, Escape from New York?
I remember Escape from New York. Yeah.
They should
John Carpenter.
Yes. They should have never escaped from New York.
You know he did Halloween also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, John Carpenter and Escape from LA. I remember. Yeah. Bro, I'm old for. I wish it's sometimes I just kind of wish I could rewind the clock, man, and just be like 28 again. I just can't, though.
I always say that. They said pick a year. I'm like 28.
28. Them.
28.
Yeah, man. But to your point, though, bro. Yeah.
It's too much out here. I was having too much fun at 28.
Too much fun, bro.
At 28.
It was the first time in my life that I had the balance of a little bit of money, a little bit of stability, and a little bit of fun. It's like that perfect balance of like that bag. You in that pocket. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, AD, I'm the thing that frustrates me first is that season. I felt like it was if everything had come to fruition like it should have, like if it's Knicks versus Supersonics and the Knicks in that situation, because the Sonics had a better record than us too, I believe. I think the Sonics would have got. But bro, you're talking about two teams that are built like in this. Seattle suffocated you on the perimeter. New York suffocated you the post and baseline. You know what I'm saying? Starks was a good defender, but he was not a Gary Payton type defender. But he was good.
I think we would have got them though.
I think we would have got them in 6. We would have
got them a lot easier because they, for as talented as they were, Nate McMillan and all of them, there was something in their intestinal fortitude that was weak.
Vincent Askew, all the thing is that they were like Portland.
Yeah,
they were like if they ever got on the offensive roll, you couldn't stop them, bro.
You couldn't stop them.
If they ever got,
but you could lock them. You could lock them.
But if you stopped them a few times, you could see the quit in them.
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying?
Portland literally, once Jordan hit, what he hit, 8 threes in one quarter.
Yeah,
series was over.
You saw Jerome Kersey just.
Oh my God! They're like, oh my God!
If Jordan hitting threes, man, we don't stand a chance.
Jordan hitting threes.
Yeah. And it's like that Lakers team when Jordan did that fake layup at the rim. You could see the Lakers knew what their Achilles heel was, and Jordan showcased it right there, and the Lakers just folded their tent.
Now it's over.
Yeah. And what was that, game 2?
That was game 2 because remember the Lakers won. The Lakers didn't surprise them. I mean, you got Magic Johnson, so you don't surprise anybody.
Right.
The Lakers won game 1,
right.
But they weren't favored, and he was having.
They hit a Hail Mary or something. They hit like I think somebody.
I can't remember. They beat him by a couple of points and made people go like, "Oh, whoa!
Maybe this is a series."
Right.
Right.
And the Lakers had good. Obviously, the Lakers had good players.
Yeah, the Lakers had good players. That should have been Portland versus Chicago. We knew as far back as '89 that the Trailblazers could have been NBA champs from about '89 to about '93.
Yeah, but the beauty about that, and this is not talked about enough, is that we got to see Jordan against Magic.
Yeah.
You see?
Before the end of that era. That series officially stamped a brand new era in NBA basketball.
And this is what I say to new schoolers, right? In your era, the two best players never went up against each other. In the last, let's say, before LeBron, KD, LeBron never went up against Kobe.
No.
The league tried. The league tried to manipulate. They tried to steer it for ratings and so forth.
Right. And you could see it. You could see them steering. You could tell by the way the games were nationally broadcast.
Like the absolute best of their time at their time. The closest they got was when Cleveland lost to Orlando.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
Orlando got steamrolled by the Lakers.
Yeah, you got to see two Mount Rushmore players at the very best. Magic was still, maybe at the back of his prime, but he was still in his prime, and they couldn't do anything with them. After game 1, it was like, okay.
Yeah. As soon as they came out, as soon as they made the Scottie Pippen or Magic adjustment, you knew the series was over. As soon as they took Scottie Pippen off of, I forget who the small forward was.
Worthy.
Was it Worthy?
Yeah, Worthy was still.
Okay.
Worthy was still with him at the time.
Yeah, as soon as they took Pippen off of Worthy and put him on Magic, this series over. Ain't nobody else doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think Byron Scott was a shell. Even if he was still there, I don't even know if he was still there or not.
Scott this is what, 89? Yeah, Scott is still there. This is
91? 91?
Scott is still there.
Yeah. Yo, do you remember when the Lakers traded Norm Nixon to get the pick to draft Byron Scott?
Yeah.
I remember that was like the biggest deal. I wasn't even a Lakers fan, but my pops
think about
like, yo,
fans. Think about that, Knicks fans. They had a surplus at point guard. Hint, hint, surplus.
Yep.
Right? They won a championship together. Hint, hint, hint. The organization said, this is no longer going to work. Why?
We got to get younger.
Magic is unhappy.
Yep. Because the year before that was the Tragic Johnson loss. Remember the newspaper was calling him Tragic Johnson?
Yeah.
Magic Johnson turned the ball over. And
an all-star point guard.
Yep. Yep.
And at some point, mind you, it worked to the very top because they won a championship together.
Yep. Yep.
And going into the following seasons is like, you know what? Magic is not going to be able to be who he totally needs to be with Norm.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that because the one thing that those guys could do in abundance more so than players today, they could flat out shoot the mid-range.
The mid-range, they deadly.
They could flat out shoot the mid-range. Norm could flat out shoot the mid-range.
Deadly.
Right?
Bro, the only person I think, the only point guard that I saw that was probably more deadly in the mid-range, and I'm talking about every night. I'm not talking about like once he get hot. Right? The only player that you remember Reggie Theus?
I should.
Reggie Theus was what, a Chicago Bulls draft pick? He was part of that Chicago Bulls young core in the late 70s. Yeah. Every time I hear the word young core, bro, I swear to God, I just want to jump my fat ass out a window, bro. Yeah. Because every team has a young core all the time.
I mean, we touched on this last week, and I don't want to slide you, but I want to get your thoughts on something because I was a little late to the party over the last couple of days. What's your thoughts on the Boston situation with the coach?
I think it's a lot deeper than what they let on. I think they're keeping a lot of stuff in house. I don't think it's just that one incident with that one lady.
Right.
I think it's more like a Deshaun Watson type of thing. And the Celtics are trying to get way out in front of it. You know what I'm saying? Before it gets leaked. They don't want to start the season and then have it be leaked all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put blame on that cat because I don't know all the details. But what I'm saying is as crazy, as wild as this thing seems, right? Like, yo, you gonna suspend him for the season for cheating and he ain't even married? You know what I'm saying? And the relationship is like something. Nah, this dude ain't even married.
Not,
you know what I'm saying?
I saw something yesterday, Freezy, like in the back page or whatever. And don't get me wrong, you know, Nia Long is one of my favorite actresses.
Right.
You know, love Nia Long. We grew up with Nia Long. We're probably about the same age.
Right.
And to see, you know, anyone go through something, whatever. But celebrity's a different thing. And far too many times we get caught up thinking we know these folks because we see them on TV.
Right.
They're celebrity.
Right.
How do you fire someone for not breaking the law? You see what I'm saying? Like, they're not, from the back page article, like I said, they were like, Nia Long was blindsided. Like, they're not married.
Yeah.
Like, they're common law, whatever, but like, this is like really.
And does she own the Celtics?
I don't know. This is
she don't have nothing to do with the Celtics, bro.
Yeah. It's like, what is going on? Why are you suspending him? Why is he allowing himself to be suspended? Like, this is strange. And more than that, how come we haven't heard from the commissioner?
Right. And how come you hadn't heard from the coaches union? The coaches them have a union too, right?
I said to myself, I said, you know what? He's in a pickle because why? He ain't got no union. He's a part of management.
Yeah.
But you said something now. There's a coaches union.
Yeah.
What kind of power they got?
Rick Carlisle, the dude from the Dallas Mavericks, is I think
okay.
I mean not the Indiana Pacers. Now he with the Pacers, but I think he was the president of their coaches union. Is how teams and management and coaches let people know who's good assistants and all this type of stuff, and all of them are part of this group. But my thing with that though is, I think this thing had to be like a rampant thing, bro, because you don't just, because to me it's like an overreaction. Like, to bring up Nia Long name, she don't play point guard for them. You know what I'm saying?
She's a celebrity.
Yeah.
And you get more clickbaits when you attach her name, because it's no longer Ime Udoka. It's Nia Long's
fiance.
Living fiance. Fiance is, I told somebody this on the workplace. It's the most pre-pandemic. It's the place you're gonna spend most of your time.
Yep.
It's a place where you're gonna forge either good or bad relationships more times than not, because you're gonna be there 8 to 10 hours.
Yep. Yeah.
It's almost impossible to think there's not gonna be any kind of workplace fraternization pre-pandemic. Why? These are the people you spend your most time with.
Right.
Okay. How are you going to tell someone how to, to be attracted to somebody, how not to be attracted to somebody, when to be attracted to somebody? Well, what if you met them outside of the job?
Right.
Okay. What if you just happened to have been someplace and you saw them, y'all vacation the same place? Not saying that you know what I'm saying, like things can happen, but then what?
Then what?
You see, it's such a slippery slope. So I want to hear all of the details from this. He left a really short statement. When I heard it, I'm like, wow. Is he trying to protect the rest of his days, in the NBA, going forward? What does this look like for him? And like,
he definitely don't want a Derek Fisher scenario.
He didn't. Fisher left the Knicks telling the Knicks that he had a sick child.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he's chasing after Matt Barnes' wife. Or right. He's in something. The Post caught him on the back of the airplane taking a selfie right before the plane was about to take off.
Right.
I'm like, who is that? Like, how dumb could you be?
He got comfortable. He had been doing it the whole time. You know how it is. It's not like he didn't get caught in that random act, right? It's like how bank robbers get caught. Bank robbers get caught by the law of averages. You do it enough, you eventually gonna get caught. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things, man. It's like I think that's the thing with Derek Fisher. He just got comfortable doing it.
But what does this say for Boston, right? If you're investigating this, or if you say that you were watching it, so you were watching this happening in real time, you knew that this was going on, that he possibly might have had one relationship or two relationships, and you didn't say anything. You just kind of let it just play out.
Right. Bro.
Why? Because he's on his way to the finals?
Right.
What if he won the finals, Freezy?
What if he had won the finals, bro?
How about that?
Right.
How about that? What if he won? What if he's now a championship coach? Do we hear about this?
Absolutely not.
Do we?
Absolutely not. Right. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing to it too, that I just wanted to mention, man. Why, if you're Ime, why do you stay with this? Why do you stay with that organization? What's the benefit of staying?
I'm not gonna. You know why? Well, for myself, I'm not gonna be beholden to something like that. I'm not gonna let you jerk me on a string, you know, when I didn't do anything, you know, that I could go to jail for. You understand?
That's one thing though.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, you know, he wants to be in the association. He wants his next job. He wants to still be able to feed his family and whatever. And hopefully he's safe.
But you don't get paid while you out, bro. You don't get paid while you suspended.
Yeah, he does. If he quit, the contract would have been voided. Him being suspended, he gets paid.
So he's suspended with pay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why he takes the suspension.
Okay.
You know, because you want to make sure that you're gonna, you know, you still got a family.
Because what I do, instead of the $5 million or whatever he's gonna get paid a year, $4 million, whatever he's gonna get paid a year, I would go and be a high priced assistant and rebuild my reputation with another team. Because you're still a hot commodity. Think about it. He spent 1 year as the Celtics head coach, and they got over the hump and got to the NBA Finals. And if you're the New York Knicks, and easy, y'all, before y'all think about all the stuff that come with, think about this. Think about this. If you're the New York Knicks, why don't you take a shot with him as at least an assistant coach? Right? Bring that magic to whatever it is he brought, because clearly with him on the Celtics, he added something to that organization. Because if he didn't, they would have just fired him.
You think James Anuka Brown Sanders don't want anything to do? Look, that man may get up and slap somebody. Somebody wants to mention anything. Like, what? You know, we still paying.
Whoa! I didn't know that. Get out of here. He was messing with the SVP of finance wife. What? Okay.
But this goes on though, Freezy. See, This is the thing that makes me laugh, is that we act like these things are not going to happen, especially with people who makes lots and lots of money. This gets out because somebody doesn't want to stop.
Right.
You see?
Right.
You know, a situation like that can only happen but for so long before they go in public. Somebody doesn't want to stop.
Yo, if he messing with a higher up's wife, then it's a whole new thing. I can't trust him in the organization.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So why drag this thing out?
Do you remember, right? Let's tie it with the Knicks. Again, with Fisher, right? When Hardaway Jr. was here, the Post had an article with Berman where allegedly Fisher was making overtures to Hardaway Jr.'s, at that time, girlfriend or fiance at some point.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It was such to the point where they asked Hardaway about it.
Right.
Right? And Hardaway, if it wasn't an issue, why would Hardaway feel the need to respond to it? Because you know more than likely what happened from seeing how things played out with Fisher.
Right.
You know, it's... I was about to say something. Oh, bump it. I don't give a damn. Some women act as if they don't know that there are women who are scandalous.
Right.
And will do some vile shit to get to the better check.
Right.
We watch this on reality shows all day, every day.
Every day.
You roll in, you got a rookie check, you Tim Hardaway Jr., yeah, you a legacy, your father was in, whatever, you still got a rookie check.
Right.
Here comes Fisher. He done signed a brand new 5-year, $30 million coach to coach the Knicks.
Right.
And you look like something to eat. That part of the story is rarely ever told. You see what I'm saying? It's always the athlete or the person who is proceed with the power. They do everything, and woe's me. Woe's me. He forced that champagne in my cup.
Yeah.
He made me come to that party.
Bobby says he found out about it because he saw them on the Ring camera. If this is what's going on, if Udoka is at that man's house while he ain't home, y'all can't even go to the telly.
He the mailman, baby.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He delivering the mail for real.
What in the world? I swear, bro. I don't get it, bro. It's a lot of stuff. Oh my God.
Kneel on. Blindsided. Laugh so hard, but again, you can't trust him in your organization. Has Derek Fisher gotten another job in an organization?
With the Sparks? With the Sparks, but not with anybody else, I don't think.
They hired him around the women?
Yeah, he coached the women.
They put him in the hen house?
Yeah.
They put the fox in the hen house.
Yeah. They took the hen house and built it around the fox.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You can't make this stuff up.
I'm telling you, man, it's like a celebrity thing that you mentioned.
Oh my God.
The celebrity thing that you mentioned, bro, it's like some of the stuff you can't make it up.
You can't. Wow. I'm thinking you got to say he a broadcaster or something. No,
I think he coached the Sparks. I think they just fired him. Because of poor performance. Yeah, I think now. I think that might be accurate. But the thing is with the Udoka thing, man, come on, bro, come on.
I can understand. I said this yesterday. When you have money and power and access, these people don't go to work, Freezy. We go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their work is watching game film.
Right.
Can you imagine how easy your life would be right now if someone walked up to you and said, Freezy, I'm going to give you $1,000 a week just to watch game film?
Easy, done.
You would stop doing everything you
everything.
You'd be the best game filmer watcher that ever was.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
Or sit around and watch game film and break it down.
Right.
And talk to somebody about it.
Right.
And do it again the next day.
Yep. Every day. And I dig it. I dig that part. I think there is something deeper to it. It's got to be that thing, though. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be that thing where you can't just, your people got to feel like they people safe in a family-friendly environment. You can't feel like if you bring your adult daughter or your wife or your mama around that you could, because you remember how uncomfortable the Cavaliers were with that light-skinned dude and LeBron family?
It was a part of the reason that LeBron got up and left.
Left Cleveland.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It made the rounds like, okay.
Like, you messing with this dude, mom, man. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. And it's not like she putting herself out there. You had to go and spit that game to her. You had to go try to holler.
Now, Freezy, we don't know this.
But
we are assuming that he would have to go spit that game.
Right.
But maybe she was in an environment where it made it easy for game.
Yeah.
Because more than likely, he did not meet her at the supermarket.
No.
She at front. She's sitting courtside all the time, whatever.
Right.
Your son is now who he is.
The face of the NBA.
You now have access to everything.
Everything. And they booting people out the way so that she can get up there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Anywhere you go, whatever the best restaurants are in town, you put a phone call in, they move in the entire room.
But the rumor was that LeBron was trying to get rid of Delonte West and management wouldn't do it. And he was like, oh, yeah? One of us got to go and y'all won't move him? Okay. One of us got to go and y'all won't move him. Y'all won't destroy this man's career because of what he did. Okay, we'll keep him around then.
At that point in time, LeBron is what? When he leaves Cleveland the first time, he's what, 25?
24, 25, yeah, 25, 20 something. Yeah.
If you're Cleveland, right, you're looking at yourself that we've already moved heaven and earth to make you happy.
Right.
Obviously, there was more planets in the galaxies that you needed to do to make him happy, and you didn't do it. Same thing like Miami. When he gets to Miami, Riley wants to kind of like treat him like he's a part of the family and we have rules and how we do things, and you can't have access to this, that. Your people just can't run around and be whatever.
Right.
And when the contract is over, LeBron goes, it was nice.
Right. Remember, he did sign back with Miami one time, and then after they, then when Chris Bosh, remember Chris Bosh had the blood clots, they didn't know Chris Bosh could play.
Yeah, but they never did what they needed to do to make him comfortable for a man who's under 30.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? You got LeBron there on your team. It's not about how we're going to do this. It's what do you need to do this? What do you want to do this?
Right.
I saw the figures that they were talking about. If you believe it, like how much he generated for the city of Cleveland and the state of Ohio, just overall.
Just by being a Cavalier.
Just by being a Cavalier?
Right.
You let that walk?
Right. But AD, is and so the thing is this. Before LeBron, look at the small amount of money that they were generating. Before the draft, they got rid of those stupid black and acid wash jerseys. Remember the white and acid wash jerseys? Awful, right? The DeJuan Wagner is the DeJuan Wagner Trajan Langdon era.
Yeah.
Right? So you get rid of can you believe Milt Wagner has a son about to enter the NBA? Milt Wagner has a grandson.
That's 2 years. I was about to say his son already entered the NBA.
No, DeJuan Wagner, the one I was just mentioning. Can you believe DeJuan Wagner has a son about to come into the NBA?
Yeah,
bro, that's bananas. Yeah. I was thinking about Milt Wagner. I was like, wow, Milt Wagner, grandson about to play, bro.
Has it been that long since DeJuan came out with LeBron? That LeBron
the year, like 2 years before, the year before,
like a year before. So we're talking like 2001.
Yeah.
Wow. And
wow.
Because Milt can't be more than.
Milt can't be 60.
Milt can't be 60.
That's what I'm saying. He can't be 60.
Can't be 60 yet. No.
Yeah, let me see, because that is intriguing to me. Milt Wagner.
I remember watching him at Louisville. Crazy. But if you Udoka right now, what you thinking? It's over?
Yeah. So Milt Wagner is 59.
Well, technically,
so you
were correct.
Close. So he close. But man, if I'm him, I'm kind of weighing my options. I'm weighing my options if I'm him, right? Because I have to honestly assess this. I'm thinking like, was I a grease ball in this situation? And if I was a grease ball in this situation, then I'll accept my punishment and all of that stuff. Was it like a mutual thingy thing, whatever? Then now I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
They quick to point out that it was consensual and da-da-da-da, right?
Right.
If you are Udoka, I'm almost looking at Boston like you guys are a little bit ungrateful.
Right.
Because I got you to the finals. And there's something to be said for that. See what I'm saying? If you suspended me with the terms of, all right, we're going to bring you back after this clears up, da-da-da-da, okay. But if you suspended me for a year with pay and at the end of the year I can't do anything, then what am I doing this whole year? I could have been plotting my life, my next exit strategy. Like where am I going? Like what's the deal? At the end of this year, what's the deal?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because what would be greasy is if he's suspended, they say he got to go through a certain thing, and then when the year is up, they terminate him anyway. You know what I'm saying? That would be kind of like a odd thing. You know what I'm saying?
And again, if you Udoka, why would you take that? There's got to be other teams that's thinking he got them to the finals. He could do the same for us.
Right. So if you're a talented team that is a moribund franchise, like if there's a team out there with playoff talent that the organization and the coaching staff is just dumb, then why not just go apply for that job? Right? Like say for so who's a talented team out there? Who would fit that? I think all those jobs have been taken. Minnesota is a talented team. That they hadn't reached their potential.
Yes.
Sacramento is a talented team that hasn't reached their potential.
But you know what? He's the kind of coach that could resurrect something.
Right.
In Sacramento. So I would say yes. And
right.
they're desperate.
Yeah.
They would be more desperate because they haven't been relevant since they were the Sacramento Queens. Yeah. They haven't been relevant 20 years.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I know. I feel you, bro.
How about him in Brooklyn?
I don't know. Are you giving up on Steve?
I never believed in Nash. I never believed in Nash. I don't like situations where the players, without having, it's not like he was an assistant coach on their bench.
Right.
Where they could come to bat for him like how Ewing went to bat for Van Gundy and stuff like that. They have you got a relationship. They just fired a good coach. They fired a very good coach because they didn't like how he was doing things.
Right. They didn't like the fact that it was a Big 15 and not a Big 3.
They didn't like how he was doing things and kept, because remember, at the time when they fired him, Durant was hurt.
Yep.
So they wouldn't have, and as much as I wanted him and still would take him on my squad because he's one of the 15 greatest ball players who's ever played. He's done some sucker shit.
Of course.
And how they let go the former coach, he had his hands clean because what? He was hurt.
Right.
So he could always say, well, I wasn't playing. No, the ownership would have came to you and been like, yo, we making this move. What you think?
Right.
Your man Kyrie's already on board. He already got the coach picked out. What you think?
It puts me in that mindset of like all the Bernard King lovers, right? Like people love Bernard King, and they're like, oh, but Bernard King is from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And what they forget is that Bernard King at Tennessee was an alcoholic. In his first few years in the NBA, Bernard King was an alcoholic.
I know.
Right?
I know.
And listen, I'm not knocking Bernard King, right? This is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is like, you know how we conveniently take certain parts of the story and push it out to the forefront?
So disrespectful, though.
But I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I mean it to be a true teller about the entire story.
Why couldn't he be a lover of the blue juice? The pleasure juice.
Because being a lover of it is one thing. Being obsessed by it is another. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because you trade. Because the irony is the irony is the Knicks traded a druggie for an alkie, right? But people think about the druggie part, and they never talk about the alcohol part with Bernard King. And so here's the thing. The reason why I bring this up is people are doing the same thing with the Kevin Durant stuff. Like Kevin Durant is sometimes, man, he can be a scumbag with some of the things, right? He could be a scumbag with some of the things. How dare you talk like that to me? I'm Kevin Durant. I get it, bro. I get it. And the thing is for you've never seen because the biggest scumbag of all time is Michael Jordan. I don't care what nobody say, bro.
Yes.
Michael Jordan, personality-wise, is the worst superstar we've ever seen.
All you had was to do was to see his Hall of Fame speech.
Oh my God.
If you never saw the man play, just put on the Hall of Fame speech. Okay? Put on the Hall of Fame speech. I never saw anything like that. Just literally, just berated some of the greatest ball players who ever played. Right in their face.
Right.
He should have basically said, "You bum."
Right.
I'd have respected that more.
Right.
If he had just called everybody in the room, "You mere pittance, y'all are all bums.
I'm the GOAT.
I'm the GOAT," and dropped the mic and walked off.
And just walked off. And see, and the reason why I can't respect Michael Jordan and the Kevin Durant is because I come from an era of the humble megastar, right? My megastar, man, listen. Yeah, I come from the era of Willie Mays. Willie Mays get in front of the camera. Willie Mays was like, man, I just love baseball, man. I want to play baseball twice a day. I love the fans. I dove in the crowd. Willie Mays would say stuff like, man, I dove in the crowd and made that spectacular catch, the greatest catch of all time. But I really just wanted to hang out in the crowd and just stay there in the crowd. And people hear stuff like that. They're like, oh my God, Willie Mays just say that.
They sound, but see, there's a flip side to that.
Yeah.
Right? You saw pictures of those guys that after the game, they'd be playing stickball. Remember that?
Right. Yep.
Remember that game?
Yep.
Stickball.
Stickball, bro.
Stickball. Right?
And they didn't bring their own. They didn't bring their own bats. They played with the neighborhood bats.
No,
you know?
They were destroying their mother's broomsticks.
Right.
You know, you had all these mop heads and broomsticks. Yep. You were taking your moms and your grandmoms, and then you were getting the nice electrical tape, and you were taping it up to get your grip. You know what I mean? I still got the stance.
Yeah, and so my pops, I remember my pops went off on me about that. Just just real quick, I'm gonna get back to the thing, but my pops went off on me. I saw the end off a mop, right? That's when mops used to have wood handles.
Yeah.
I saw the end off the mop, and my pops went crazy. He was like, Uncle Freeze, what are you doing? And I was like, yo, I just need to make a stickball stick. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, yo, I just need to make a stickball stick, Pops. And this is me, and this is me in the early 70s, bro. I swear I don't know how my pops didn't just punch my nose through the back of my face, right through the back of my head. I'd be like, Jim, calm down. I'm just making a stick, man. You like baseball, right? And the thing I didn't know, he was like, yo, you ruining my steak knives sawing through a mop handle. You don't understand how that's stupid? And I was like, nah, it's just wood. He's like, yo, the steak knives ain't gonna be sharp no more.
No.
And I'm like, just use a butter knife for the steak. This is like when you're young, you're so dumb, you don't understand like how things that go together don't go together. I'm using my pop's steak knife set to make a stick ball, but you know what I'm saying?
We're gonna be creative because you had to be creative. Like another blast from our time. Skelly. You know, when you could actually trust your kids. I don't know if you know what, let me change that word. I don't know if it's a trust necessarily, but when kids had to, you push kids to play outside.
Yeah.
And we created this game called Skelly, which, the streets of New York, Brooklyn, I mean, every block seemed like had a Skelly court.
Yeah.
And you were going through gallons of milk just to get the top, that plastic top off.
Yep.
Right? And to smooth it out so you could put either clay or wax in it.
Yep.
All right. So you smooth out the bottom and you would manipulate that little top throughout the court.
Right.
By
so they can slide good.
So they can slide good. You know what I'm saying? And you had to, those are the things that you treasured those pieces.
I used to take pennies. I used to take pennies together and put them in there.
Yeah. You treasured. Now, people don't want their kids in the street, let alone you are going to be in the middle of a street on your hands and knees.
Somebody watching out for cars.
Going hikesies.
Yeah.
And the object of the game was to knock your man or your opponent
out of a certain box
or into like purgatory.
Yeah.
For you to go around the court to win.
Yeah.
And you could do some awful shit. Because one of the things you do, I remember we would do like, if you really didn't like the person you were playing against, you would do like blassies.
Yeah.
And when you knocked them out the way, you would knock their piece like halfway down the block.
Yeah.
Halfway down the block.
But now, I mean, a little hot purpose, little teeny little. But you say you would knock a piece under a park car tire.
If you call the right maneuver, because in order to knock the pieces around, you had to call the maneuver you were going to do. It's kind of like you playing pool and you're like, you got to call what pocket you're going to hit the ball.
Yeah.
You have to call what maneuver you were going to do.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, pluxies or something like that. You were going to do something. And my thing was blassies. If I didn't like you, I was going to blast you. If I had a chance, oh my God, I was going to send you down the block.
Yeah.
I absolutely send you down the block. But wow, I haven't thought about it.
I mean, not just people that you didn't like, somebody that might have made you mad that day. Like say
you wanted to win.
Yeah, and say Pumpkin Mama let her come off the stoop one day and let her play with everybody else. And your man cut you off to holler at Pumpkin. And you like, yo, me and Pumpkin a thing. And you over there wasting time. She gonna tell you no because she like me, but you gonna shoot your shot. By the time you finish, they calling Pumpkin back out the house, and I don't even get a chance to see my girl.
And I've been building up this confidence like for 2 months. I've been building up this confidence for 2 months. Yo, I guarantee you, when I was at that age, my thing was writing. Right? I had to, at some, watch. Like
yeah, but that's because you sharp though. You smart. Like the dudes that write are like usually the smart dudes in the group.
There was her name was Natasha. I couldn't get my words out when I would see her.
Yeah.
Like when I would see her, I know what I want to say. I couldn't get my words out. So one of my mans at the time, Darren, if you ever see this, I'm looking for you, guy. And Darren had the bravery because I would write like at least a 2-pager.
Right.
And Darren would read it.
Right.
And Darren would be like, this sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Darren was my delivery dude. Darren would take the letters to her.
Right.
So finally she told Darren.
We used to call them kites back in the day.
Yes,
Yo, take this kite over the. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So finally she was like, nah, this dude who's got all these sweet words or whatever, he gotta come show and prove. He gotta come talk himself or whatever. By that time, I think she had moved or we moved or something. So I never got the opportunity. Well, I did get the opportunity, but I didn't, at that point. And it taught me a lesson at that point in time. Like, you got to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, But Darren was the brave one. Darren was my man. Darren would be like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yo, and then too, I ain't even gonna hold you. On this. This is one of the things. First of all, I used to like to listen to this music by a dude named Miles J. Right? I used to like Miles J. For some people don't even know who Miles J is, but anyway, Miles J. Some kashif, some sophisticated soul like type of guy.
Sophisticated funk, I think.
Yeah. Especially Miles J. Some Let's Start Love Over. Back to the Way We Were. Forget about him, and I'll forget about her. It's something like so. To your point, though, is it seemed like, and see that lady, Miss Natasha, she probably only moved like 3 blocks over, right? But it seems like back then when you were shorty, somebody 3 blocks over was an entirely different country. Right? That was an entirely different country. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I lived on Van Nostrand, right? So it's Stevens on one side, Armstrong on the other side. But by the time you get to say Fulton Street, bro, that's a different country over there.
It's like once you change for us, our generations and things like that, like the kids I grew up with from daycare pretty much, we rolled all the way to junior high school.
All the way to junior high, yep.
Yeah, like my day ones from like 5-6 years old.
Right.
And we were together for a long period.
Right.
So it was like when we finally had to separate, it was like we didn't know what to do.
It was like going to high school was like going to college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like some of my homeboys, like some of them on the block that I lived, everybody was going to Snyder except for me and some others. So I went off to St. Anthony's and then wound up at Dickinson. I had homeboys that went to Lincoln High. Lincoln High in Jersey City is the school that everybody know, the famous one. It's like where Joe Buttons went. It was where Kool and the Gang and them is from. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like for some reason, that Communiport area, everybody, you know what I'm saying? I went to Dickinson, right? So I went to Dickinson and it was like famous Italians are from there. Like people we wouldn't know right offhand like who they were because these people were like state officials and all of that stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So but at Dickinson, that's where Michael Ray Richardson stood me up. I'm still mad at Michael Ray Richardson right now, bro. I'm hiding Michael Ray Richardson.
I'm surprised you say that because he was your favorite outside of Walt Clyde Frazier. He was your favorite ball player.
That's my man, bro. That is my man.
You take shots at Bernard King, talking about the poor man's alcoholism.
Yeah, nah. I take shots at Michael Ray too, bro. I take shots at Michael Ray. You know me by now, man. I can keep it separate, like. But I saw Michael Ray Richardson.
I'm from Brooklyn. I'd never do such a thing. Never do such a thing.
Hey, Michael Ray, I'm not from Denver, so I will do such a thing. But the thing, I saw Michael Ray Richardson rip Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas come down and is like, bat, 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 and Michael Ray Richardson tips the ball away from him and go down the other end and jump like 1,000 feet in the air and flick his wrist and finger roll. And see that, bruh, back in the day,
you had to have multiple moves.
Oh my God, bro!
That's it. That's part of the things that I see that's so sad with the game. And I've seen, how Kevin Knox and players like that,
right,
have to adapt to a spacing kind of philosophy. And you never truly get to see, what they really could do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like offensively, because why the coach says stand over there.
Yeah.
See, they didn't play basketball like that.
Nah, but it's because of these dudes coming to the league with they can dribble, pass, and shoot, but they just don't want to do it. Kevin Knox comes in as a shooter.
When I hear the rebounding numbers, and I'm not talking about like the well-known great rebounders. I'm talking about guys who, through the annals of time, we've forgotten. And I was watching this young man created this video on YouTube, and I can't remember the name of it, but maybe next week if I remember, I'll bring it up. And he had like the 10 most underrated players of the 80s or something like that, right? Or 70s and 80s. Right. And they were all forwards, 10 most underrated forwards. And not one of them had averaged less than 11 rebounds.
Wow.
Take a look. Pull up Terry Cummings' rookie numbers. Let me make a point here. Pull up his rookie numbers. Because he was one of the forwards that was featured.
Oh, Pat Cummings. Good God almighty.
Yes, we had Pat Cummings.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you one thing. Pat Cummings' claim to fame is on a Friday night. I can't remember the dude who he got into a scuffle with on the court, right. But he thought Pat was something sweet. He thought Pat was something for playing, and Pat laid him out.
Yeah.
Pat two-pieced him, not Chris Childs like on Kobe got arrested. That Pat gave him something else. Pat knocked him out. But take a look at Terry Cummings' numbers.
I got him. Okay.
What is that? 23. I'm not even looking at. I want to say 23-11. 23-11 and 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
As a rookie,
bro.
As a rookie. Think about that.
Yeah.
53 points and 11 plus rebounds per season.
Per season, bro. Per season. And he came in and so this is the thing I want people to realize is when Terry Cummings entered the league, he entered the league towards the end of the power forward era. He came in like 82, 83, 84, something like that. And back then, your power forward might have been the strongest person on the team. Back in that era, like the power forward was legit, like 6'10", 240, big Michael Thompson. You remember Michael Thompson?
Yeah.
Bro, yo, Clark Kellogg. You remember Clark, the dude from the Pacers?
Absolutely.
They say he was 6'10". That dude was probably like what, 6'7", 6'8"?
6'7".
Yeah,
6'7" at best.
But that man arms when he did like this, bro. You like,
but the totality of these individuals of their games,
right?
There was like no shortness of of their offensive game.
But AD, the point I'm getting at is because the scoring part, if you get hot, you could score back then. What I'm saying is at the power forward big man position back then, if you got a rebound, you work for that one rebound. So for a dude to be 23 and 11, bro, you had to work your behind off, bro.
As a rookie.
Right.
As a rookie. If the Knicks had a rookie that was 23 and 11, right? Look what we hailed KP after his first season. I don't even think he averaged 15 points.
Right. He's 14 and 6.
14 and 6. He's half of what Terry Cummings did in his rookie season.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the player Terry Cummings was.
Right. That's one of the things that, man, it's almost 1 o'clock, AD.
I was just about to tell you, Uncle Freezy. Yes, but
yes.
Before we roll, how's your fantasy looking this year?
It's still sleeping.
Still sleeping?
Yeah. I'm in so there's a Blorange Tears league that you know what I'm saying that we did like spur of the moment. Okay. And my team is 1-1. And the first week I was like the second worst team in the league, but I won because I beat the worst team in the league.
I'm in 2 different leagues. Yeah. So, but it's not what happens in the beginning. As to tie in my Sunday biblical, the race is not for the swift, but it's who can endure,
who can hold out and hold on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Knicks fans, again, thank you again for joining us on this journey. I don't know where the time goes, but again, look for me. Look for me
in 41 minutes. Was that an hour and 41 minutes?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's the fastest.
Yeah,
it's the fastest. Well, again, look for me in the whirlwind. I'll let me, Uncle Freezy. Good luck today.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Peace, y'all.